I was talking with you about an article in the New York Times, why Democrats are having such a hard time beating Trump. This is a question that was also asked by Michelle Obama at a Kamala Harris campaign rally where she said she doesn't understand why the race is so tight. Democrats already seem to be trying to figure out what went wrong, and we're not even at polling day yet.
That's right. Good morning, Kenny. Well, look, they're starting to position now about how to explain what happens if Kamala Harris loses, and I believe she will lose. Look, the national environment is no longer conducive to the Democrats. Their elite policies, liberal policies from the Obama era on to Joe Biden, they've come and gone. And keep in mind that most Democrats believe that Donald Trump had been disqualified from running for the presidency again after his second impeachment, after his criminal trials and the like. And the only person who got disqualified was Joe Biden. Only 40% of Americans have any faith in him, and 28% of Americans, only 28% of Americans think he's moving in the right direction. Now, no president has ever been returned, at least no party of that president has been returned with those kinds of numbers. So in many ways, Kamala Harris, who is completely identified with Joe Biden's unpopularity in many circles, she took the poison chalice. I mean, I don't see how she could win with those kinds of numbers. Trump, on the other hand, has come bouncing back with a number of policies that even the Democrats have had to adhere to, stricter rules on immigration and more energy and the like. So the Democratic Party has turned to the right, and I think a lot of this, even in Australia too, Kenny, stems from the immense unpopularity with the COVID restrictions. Now, people didn't like being cooped up. They didn't like being told what to do, and they didn't like those inflationary packages that were designed to overcome this kind of thing. And so, it's really a piece of irony here that the Republican Party now has more registered members than the Democratic Party. Because when I was a kid, the Republicans were only 25, 30% of the population.
You said that you still expect Donald Trump to win, even though the polls are showing it's pretty tight at the moment. And Iowa is an interesting one, showing that it's kind of flipped there in favour of Kamala Harris. Is that because of the electoral vote? What's your thoughts there?
Well, I mean, there are a lot of polls. I mean, yeah, I think these polls are very suspicious. Towards the end of a campaign, Kenny, the polls aren't really polls. They're really kind of thinly veiled propaganda. They don't telling people that they'd be the last person. They don't want to be the last person not voting for the right person. So a lot of the polls are quite unreliable. That poll in the Des Moines Register, and I know it pretty well, Silverstein, and that particular poll is Democratic driven. And Mark Twain used to say, "Tell me where you get your corn pones, and I'll tell you what you're thinking." So, they're trying to make things happen that aren't going to happen. I saw in the New York Post last night that they have one poll that shows that Trump is going to win all 7 battleground states, and his numbers are rising there, and that the Democrats will lose control of the Senate. So, pick a poll. But yeah. I think the odds are against Kamala Harris. I mean, she's run a good race as far as she could, but she came in too late. The Democrats are going to say, well, it's all Joe Biden's fault. He didn't leave quick enough. Well, I don't know where it says in the Constitution the sitting president has to leave because a bunch of people want to spill the guy. And that happens in Australia and in the parliamentary system. But, she took his nomination off him, and she's never recovered. That is, she never had a chance to explain to the American people why she should be president of the United States.
Okay, Joe, we've got to run, but Joe Siracusa, thanks for your time.